Hello, Christian here from McDonald Educational Technologies, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to use Duo to protect your Windows servers using multi-factor authentication. Now, Duo is a paid product, but if you have less than 10 users, you can actually use the Duo free version to protect your Windows servers, and we're going to show you how to do that today. So the first thing you're going to want to do is sign up for Duo. If you go to duo.com, you'll want to click on the free trial button and fill out the form and sign up. You're going to have an opportunity to test out their paid products first, but you can always fall back to the free version, and the free version is completely useful for small teams and also, in this case, protecting your Windows servers. So I'm not going to go in to the details on signing up for Duo. It's pretty self-explanatory. But once you sign up for Duo and you log into the Duo dashboard, the first thing you're going to want to do is add a user. Now, because Duo free doesn't have any directory sync capabilities, you're going to have to either do bulk enrollment or a manual enrollment. And I'm going to show you how to do a manual enrollment. But it's really important that before we proceed that we already have a user enrolled, so that once we actually install the Duo software on our Windows servers, we're not locked out. Okay, so we're going to click on Add User. And the first question is the username. Now, the username here, I'm going to use the SAM account name of my account. So we'll go ahead and type that in. And then we'll click on Add User. And for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to create two aliases. The first one will be for the built-in administrator account, and the second will be for a DA account. That is mine. And we'll type in my name and my email address, and we will enforce, by default, we'll enforce two-factor authentication, and we will click on Save Changes. Now at this point we've created the user, but the user is not yet enrolled. And there's a few ways that you can do that. If you go down to the bottom and you type in phone, you can add a phone number. This adds a phone that can be used for texting and also the phone verification. You can generate bypass codes, but what we want to do is we want to actually enroll the mobile app. So what we're going to do is go to the top and click on Send Enrollment Email. And this enrollment email has the instructions for actually getting the Duo app installed. Okay, so once you go through the enrollment process and you see enrollment successful, then that device, that user is enrolled successfully in Duo. So we're going to click on Applications, and we're going to click on Protect an Application. And when you do this, you're going to see a long list of applications that Duo supports. We're going to type in Windows RDP. Now, it's a little bit confusing that you would, or Microsoft RDP. It's a little bit confusing that we're going to be protecting RDP, but the RDP application is the application that actually provides us with the Windows login protection. Even if you're just protecting Windows clients that you're not using for RDP, this still works. So we're going to go ahead and choose Microsoft RDP and click Protect. Now from here, you're going to get some details that you will need to get onto the servers that you want to protect. If you're using Server Core, you're probably going to take these values, put them in a text file, and move them over to your domain controller or whatever server you're using. And you'll also need to get the software. So these keys, you should protect them. So again, I'm going to burn these keys as soon as this video is over. But to download the latest version of the Duo software, you'll click on the C RDP documentation link at the top. And from here, you're going to want to scroll down to First Steps. If you want to read through this, you can. It's pretty simple installation though. It talks about signing up for Duo, logging into the control panel, and then going through the steps that we just did. So we're actually on step 5 now at this point. So we're going to go ahead and download the Duo Authentication for Windows Login installer package. This is an EXE installer, and it is compatible with Server Core, and we'll show you that in just a second. So once you have the Duo installer, and also you have the text files that contain your integration key, your secret key and your API hostname, we can go ahead and move over to our domain controller. All right, so once you have the Duo software and a text file with your integration key, your secret key, and your API hostname, we can go ahead and proceed to actually install the Duo software on your server. In this case, I'm going to be installing this on a domain controller, and I already have the installer and the keys on the C drive of this particular server. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and launch the Duo installer. And the installation is actually very simple. The first question is asking for the API hostname, so we're just going to copy and paste that. Again, this is what's found in the Duo admin panel under this application. And I'm not using any manual proxy settings for proxying HTTP traffic or whatnot, so I'm going to leave that unchecked. Click on Next. Here is where we type in the integration key, again from the Duo admin panel, and also the secret key from the Duo admin panel. Click on Next. The next options are asking whether or not we want to enforce Duo authentication if for some reason our server is offline or loses connection with the Duo API. So we're going to go ahead and uncheck that. You can choose whether or not you want to keep this enabled. For me, I don't want to lose access to my servers if my ISP circuit goes out. Really, probably not that big of a deal unchecking this, because if you lose internet access, probably the only way someone would actually be able to impact your network is if they have physical access, and then you probably have bigger problems than just a security breach, an IT security breach. You have a physical access breach. So we're going to go ahead and uncheck the bypass Duo authentication. We're going to leave the use auto push to authenticate if available. What this does is it will automatically send a Duo push or a phone call for verification immediately after the authentication request is initiated. For me, because this is Duo free, we're only going to be using Duo push. We're not going to be using the phone call or text message authentication. We're just going to use Duo push, and we'll also generate some bypass codes that we can, store in a safe. And we're also going to uncheck the only prompt for Duo authentication when logging in via RDP, because we want to also protect local logins, not just RDP initiated logins. We want to uncheck that as well. We'll click on Next. We're going to click on Next. We're not using smart cards. We click on Next here. The next option is asking whether or not you want to enable Duo for UAC elevation prompts. So if you feel like you also want to enforce two-factor on UAC elevated access on these UAC prompts, you can enable that. I'm not going to do that. We're going to click on Next. And from here, the installer will install. It's a very lightweight installer. It installed immediately, and we'll click on Finish. And now we can test it out. So let's go ahead and log out of this server. So we'll just do sconfig and 12 to log off. Okay, so we're back at the login screen of the server that we just configured with Duo multi-factor authentication. And we're going to go ahead and attempt to log in to this server using the default administrator account. So let me go ahead and send an Alt-Control-Delete to this server, and we'll attempt to log in. Now, before I log in, this user, even though it doesn't match the user that we enrolled in Duo, because the administrator was listed as an alias of that user, it should still initiate to the phone that we configured earlier. So we'll click Enter. Notice that we get the Duo prompt, and on my phone I also get the notification that I can approve. And notice that I successfully log in. So let's do the same thing again here, but this time let's actually deny it. So we'll click on Yes, and let's log in again. So let's just send an Alt-Control-Delete, and let's just type a bogus password in. Obviously that's going to fail. Okay, incorrect password, perfect. So let's go ahead and attempt that again with the correct password, but this time we're going to deny the prompt. So we will wait for the prompt. Prompt was received, and we'll click deny. And notice that the login request was denied. So at this point, you should have multi-factor authentication successfully enabled on your Windows server. Remember, you'll need to rinse and repeat these instructions for any Windows server that you want to protect, but you can reuse the same application profile, the same integration key, and the API key and the API host name for all the Windows servers that you might want to protect, and kind of bunch them up as one application, especially if you want to apply specific application policies to those logins. So if you made it this far, I want to thank you for watching. Please leave comments down in the description for ways that I can improve my videos, and also leave comments on suggestions for future videos. I definitely look forward to reading your comments below. Thanks.